Welcome back. Still watching Business Morning here on Channels Television, talking about how Nigeria can attract more investment into the country, especially in the non-oil sector, even in the non-oil sector. In recent times, we've had foreign oil companies exit the country, exit the sector. And in January, Nigeria dropped 5 places on the 2021 Corruption Perception Index, published by the Transparency International. In August, Nigeria ranked 75th on Global Safety Perception Index as insecurity worsened. And so what is all this doing to our country? What is all this doing to investment? We have Sir Steve Omojafor joining us for that conversation now. Sir Steve Omojafor is the chairman of STB. McCann is also the chairman board of trustees, Augustine Catholic University in Ekpe, joining us. Sir Steve, good morning, sir. Thank you for your time this morning. Good morning, Amy. I'm happy to be here. Good to have you, sir. So you've been in the business of branding for decades. I've known you for decades. Tell us, when we talk about the brand Nigeria, from the perspective of attracting investment, where are we? How do we look like as Nigeria? Truth of the matter is that Nigeria has refused to be branded. And what I mean by that is that we have a country where absolutely nothing goes right. People do what they like. Corruption is getting higher and higher. In the recent times, banditry, kidnapping, terrorism has taken over the entire firmament of Nigeria. So when we talk about branding, Nigeria has refused to be branded because from the leadership to the least, it's a laissez-faire attitude. Nobody cares about a good name of this country. We have our green passport, green color passport, which is virtually rejected or not respected. Even our national flag, which are the symbols of branding, is just not carrying us anywhere. So a lot of attempts have been done to rebrand Nigeria. The last one we did, we talked about great people, great nation. Yes, the people might be great, but the nation as a whole has refused to be great or to improve in all aspects of human endeavors. So what we have is a country where nothing works right, where criminality, and all vices that you should throw away are gaining momentum by the day. So we ask ourselves, what is the country doing? What are our leaders doing? And how can we get out of this quagmire? Yeah, but Sir Steve, how much of this is reality and how much is just a perception? Because in this same Nigeria, some of us are living here, working here, making progress, at least to an extent, and also you still have a lot of foreigners looking or seeing the opportunities in this same Nigeria. So how much of all of this is reality and how much of it is just perception? Okay. Now, image building or branding is all about perception, right? I do agree that we are managing to keep going, no problem with that, but we are not reaching our potential. 60-something years after independence, a lot of things are not right. Now, for the foreigners, they find an easy way in Nigeria to make so much money. The kind of money they cannot make in Europe, they cannot make in the United States of America, or even in places like Japan or China, they come to Nigeria. It's so easy to make money in Nigeria. You will agree with me, production is virtually zero. Let's talk about 25% is probably all Nigeria does in terms of production. But when it comes to
importing. That's where our forte, our strength is. So what do you have? These foreigners are flocking into Nigeria, flocking into Abuja, and working with corrupt officials down the line to ensure they got contracts for importing virtually everything into this country. How many of these foreigners are coming to set up plants to produce? Even the oil you are talking about, our refineries are not working. And these foreigners are not coming here, for instance, to help us fix our refineries. They are coming to get contracts and importation certificates to flood the country with anything that they can imagine. Of course, we are there supporting them. So for me, 25% of this country must still be working right, because we are working, we are earning something, people are flocking into this country. But when we come to the nitty-gritty, we are about 75% short of where Nigeria should be. If only we could get our stumps right and we can go more into production and refining our raw materials so that it comes back as fine, and then we can we can now export those things and not depend just on importation.
All right. So would you say, sir, that the solution lies with, because you did talk about the fact that nobody's actually branding Nigeria. We do know that we have the National Orientation Agency, which is supposed to intentionally work on branding Nigeria. So would you say the way forward is the duties of the National Orientation Agency in branding the country, or would you say it is with ministries of government working with private sector, like as you say, work on production, increasing manufacturing for more export? Where do you think it lies in moving forward?
So many times the advertising industry or the marketing communications industry have offered to work with government. Nothing comes out of it. The national orientation movement don't seem to understand exactly what it means to give this country a good name. It's all about politics in Nigeria. We offered as a group, as an association, to help brand Nigeria, even for free. No, nobody is interested in that. It's more of, let us all be together as a ministry, as an agency, as a department to do it on our own. And those things are so technical. A lot of expertise is required. For instance, who is the Nigerian? What are the values that hold Nigeria together today? What are our aspirations? What would we rather do to change this country and give it a brand new name, a brand new perception, and people don't see us as where they just come, get incorporated, start moving all kinds of rejected products out of this country into here. And of course, we are made to buy it. So Nigeria, the orientation company or the orientation department of the federal government have done their best, but they need expertise. They need to work with the relevant advertising and marketing association to be able to get Nigeria into where we are or where we should be.
All right, Sir Steve Omojafor, thank you so much for sharing part of your wealth of experience with us this morning, talking about branding Nigeria. Because even as we celebrate, we want to travel. And as you said, the perception on our green passport is something we don't really want to talk about at this time.
No, not at all.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sir Steve Omojafor.
But please, let me end up by asking Nigerians who are, you use the word jackpying out of this country. I think it's a shame. It's a big shame. And that word is offensive to me, because I believe that running away doesn't solve a problem. And to crown it up, people who are there are waiting to be evacuated back into this country. Let us stay here. Let us work here. Let us put everything in place to make Nigeria an attractive place for Nigerians to live in.
All right,
Thank you.
Steve, let's stop jackpying from
Absolutely. Our solution is right here in Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. Sir Steve Omojafor is the chairman, STB McCann Group. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Edie. Well done.